Good evening, everyone. This is a call to order for the Bridgeport Board of Education. Today is our regular scheduled meeting. It is June 8th and the time is 6:33. Will everybody please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Estramera Jimenez, can you take roll call?
Mr. Benahan Grajales,
Present.
Mr. Woodson. Okay. Ms. Perez.
Present.
Mr.
Sorry.
Mr. Sokolovic,
Present.
Ms. Burks Jennings.
Present online.
Thank you. Mr. Daniels.
Present online.
Thank you. I'm present. Mr. Traber.
Here.
And Mr. Medina.
Presente.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We're gonna start with our student representative reports. We have, I think everybody's in person. So we'll start, Christian, you can start.
All right. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Royce, faculty, parents, and fellow students. My name is Christian Bika, a 12th grader at Central High School's Magnet program. I would like to share several final updates from Central High School. We have had an outstanding college acceptance season, and many members of the class of 2026 have committed to attending excellent colleges and universities across the country. Students will be continuing their education at institutions such as Yale University, UCLA, Vassar College, Fairfield University, UConn, and many others. We would also like to recognize O'Sheen Williams, who has continued to represent Central High School with pride as a junior class Barnum Festival princess and member of this year's student royalty. As the school year comes to a close, of course, seniors have begun Chromebook turn-ins and preparations for final examinations. Teachers and students are working together to finalize assessments and ensure a successful end to the academic year. We are also happy to report that senior prom was a tremendous success. Students enjoyed a memorable evening filled with celebration, friendship, and school spirit. Looking ahead, graduation for the Central High School class of 2026 remains scheduled for June 18th, marking an important milestone for our graduating seniors. Before concluding, I would like to personally thank the Board of Education, District Administration, and the Central High School community for your unwavering support throughout my time serving as Central Student Representative. It has been an honor to share our school's accomplishments and represent all our student body at these meetings. I enjoyed getting to know every single one of you and the great things you do for our schools. As I prepare to graduate, I am proud to announce that I will be attending Fairfield University as a political science major on the pre-law track. But through hard work, dedication, and the support of my family, teachers, and community, I have been also fortunate to receive a full ride scholarship on the side. Thank you for that. Finally, thank you again for your continued support of Central High School and its students. It has truly been a privilege to serve as your student representative. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rebecca Bristol, and I'm a senior at Harding High School. So last week we had our annual law fair where professionals from multiple law enforcement agencies, legal professionals, community service organizations, and local universities attended and talked to our students about their fields. Students from our forensic, civics, Yukon human rights, and Yukon sports and society classes presented their capstone project. We also had the health fair where our community partners from multiple health organizations attended, and they also interacted with our students, educating them about how to enter the health field. Students from the HOSA, CNA, the UB anatomy class, and physiology, the Yukon medical and terminology class, and the Yukon Allied Health professionals also presented their capstone project. On Friday, the Student Council, in partnerships with the Game Club, the AP students, and the Senior Committee in Buildon, organized our field day. The students were able to engage in sport activities, craft sessions, and we had an amazing fundraiser that the senior class organized to support the senior sunset and the senior cookout. And we had the PIA student and a teacher fundraiser, and it helped the senior class to raise money for our upcoming end of the year activities. And this was a great way for us to end the school year. And we made real world connections and we showed our academic accomplishments, all while all while building a community and school spirit. And I just want to thank the Bridgeport Public School, the board, and everybody for supporting herding. And it has been truly a pleasure for me to be one of the student represent. And I will be heading to Fairfield University with a full scholarship. And I will be majoring in accounting with a minor in French. Now on to Shana, one of the student reps.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. My name is Shanoy Fraser. I really appreciate this opportunity that all of you have given me to serve as a student representative, and it has really enhanced my communication skills and has helped me to grow more as a leader. For my future academic journey, I will be attending Wesleyan University on a full ride scholarship. I will be majoring in neuroscience with a minor in French studies. Additionally, I'll be going to an internship in Portland, Oregon at Oregon Health and Science University, where I'll be researching pancreatic cancer. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Education and Dr. Avery. As we approach the close of the school year and the end of year wraps up are well underway at Bridgeport Military Academy. Students and staff are actively preparing for summer transition and next year planning. At this time, uniform collection has begun. Course selections for the upcoming school year has been completed. Since the last board meeting, several important events and recognitions have taken place on campus. On Tuesday, May 26, the Rotary Club honored Zahai Hall with a scholarship award in recognition of her leadership in organizing our school blood drive and her dedication to the NGROTC program. Ms. Arroyo was also recognized for her outstanding support for the Navy program and after-school activities. On Thursday, May 28th, we held our rescheduled award ceremony. We are proud to report that 70% of our students had received awards, highlighting strong academic achievements, leadership, and commitment to excellency. On Friday, May 29th, we concluded our annual company competition with an award ceremony. Foxtrot Company earned first place, demonstrating teamwork, discipline, and school spirit throughout the competition. Also on May 29th, we hosted an after-school concert that showcased the talents of our student musicians. The program included a performance by the Drum and Bugle Corps, beginner and intermediate bands, and concluded with an exciting performance by the BMA Rock Band.
The week of June 1st marked our annual Spirit Week, which helped build school culture and student engagement. The themes included on Monday, June 1st, we did Meme Day. Tuesday, June 2nd, we did Twin Day. Wednesday, June 3rd was Culture Day. Thursday, June 4th was Character Day. And Friday, June 5th was Sports Day. On Friday, June 5th, the superintendent met with freshmen, sophomore, and juniors to explain the transition to Fairchild Williams campus for the next few years while our new school is being constructed. This provided students with important information and an opportunity to ask questions. Regarding our finals, students have finally begun and will be taking finals on Monday and Tuesday. Seniors may leave after their last final is scheduled. Those who remain for lunch may leave after the first lunch wave, and students without transportation may stay until the regular dismissal time of 2:20. Underclassmen finals will begin next week as students prepare to conclude their academic year. Looking ahead, we'll be holding our annual Fun Day on June 23rd at Seaside Park, providing students with an opportunity to celebrate the end of the school year together. Thank you for your continued support of Bridgeport Military Academy and our students. Respectfully submitted, student representatives from Bridgeport Military Academy. Thank you.
That's fine. All righty, we're gonna move on. Oh, wait, we have, oh, okay. I just want to acknowledge Mr. Woodson has joined us online. I do not see any other student reps. Anybody else want to speak from their schools, and we all set? Okay. So we'll move on to public comment. We'll start with Kelsey DeFries. You can just hit the button up there. It'll turn red when you're ready. Once it's red, and then you'll have 3 minutes to speak, okay? You're good.
Perfect. Good evening, board, teachers, students, and community. My name is Kelsey DeFries. I am a student at Fairchild Wheeler's Aerospace Engineering program. The Military Academy will be integrated into our campus at the start of the next school year. Although rumors have been spread about this all year, first official confirmation of this move was only given to administration on May 22nd of this year. It was later sent out to parents, students, and staff on May 28th. This occurred with no official communication to staff of either school before the decision was reached, only whispers that consisted of maybe, possibly, and we don't know yet. Dr. Royce Avery came to Fairchild on Thursday of last week, promising to shed some light and answer questions that the student on our campus had about the sudden change to our environment. Arrow was the first of 3 schools to meet with our interim superintendent. Approximately 300 students piled into the auditorium after lunch, sitting in front of our 4 administrators, including Dr. Avery. Teachers and staff were escorted out, despite not being told about the nature of this closed-door meeting and amid safety concerns. 300 students with 4 administrators. We were told this event was going to be a Q&A for our student body. It was a 15-minute lecture that gave many students no new information and only told us that BMA would be coming to our school, a choice that was never involved us or staff. We were told we would have no choice and must accept the decision as is. However, a true outrage happened when we were told that Dr. Avery would only accept 2 questions. When one of our students asked a very well put together question about why our school was chosen and no others, our students cheered. Because of this, Dr. Avery refused to receive any more questions, appearing flustered and upset that every student there was voicing their support. Students left that meeting more confused and upset than when Dr. Avery first arrived, causing a few to go online and start spreading nasty messages about BMA as a whole. We would like to make this clear. We are not against the staff or students of BMA. They are a part of our student body now, and as a part of our student body, we refuse to let administrators put them in such a poor position, to the point that they are worried that their academic lives are at risk. We have several questions, and at this time, they will not solely be aimed at our interim superintendent. They will also be aimed at Mrs. Charlene Russell Tucker, the commissioner for the Connecticut Department of Education. Mrs. Tucker has gone through multiple listening sessions, heard every audit, and yet still. We have gone through 5 superintendents, still lacking a permanent one. We have lost librarians, social workers, support staff, and teacher assistants. Our bus routes have been cut. We have been offered less food for school lunches and at worse quality. And now we are merging schools. I understand that we could only have 2 of our questions answered, and I understand he may not have all of the answers at this time. So I would like to offer the board some questions that our students have about this change, given to you by my fellow student, James Stanton, who has copies of the questions for you as well if you cannot answer them at this time.
Next, James Stanton. You have 3 minutes as well.
Okay, I would first like to pass out some questions to everyone. While if anyone cannot answer or will not answer these questions, please just say pass so we can complete this in a timely manner.
We don't do Q&A back and forth, but we can respond via email.
But
Okay,
we wanted to,
can you respond publicly?
as of now, we can't respond at the board meeting per our bylaws.
Can you make a press release at least? Okay, will you answer all of these questions? Okay. My first question does not appear on the sheet. My first question is that you have reported that Fairchild Wheeler hosted BMA in our first year. Why was that stopped? That is my very first question. Why did we put an end to that? If it only started when we only had 2 years of students coming here, there was clearly a reason that that could not continue. Now for the questions on the sheet. First, a few for you, Dr. Royce Avery. First, why did you not meet with Fairchild Wheeler before the decision was made? You expressed your discontent with that and promised to do better, but I still don't understand why. Second, why did you have a student-specific meeting before you had a meeting with the teachers? Why not discuss with the staff? Would it not have been sensible to gain support with Fairchild Wheeler staff to facilitate the move? Why did you not allow teachers into the room during the meeting on Thursday, June 4th? Was it safe to have 300 students in a room with only 4 or 5 administrators? You claimed that you would build 9 to 10 classrooms inside the campus, but BMA has over 25 teachers. Will the rest of the staff be stationed outside? Will they be stationed in Fairchild Wheeler classrooms? How are you going to deal with pushback? You've seen much pushback, and yet I've seen none of it addressed directly. And you claim to be more transparent in the future, and I would like some examples of how you plan to achieve that, because as of yet, I see nothing of the sort. Now, a few questions for anyone who may be able to answer on the board. How will you facilitate BMA's morning formation? Will they bring needed custodians, nurses, and kitchen staff, or will more be hired? How will you ensure that these classrooms will be suitable for the number of students that you are bringing in? If portable classrooms are brought in, where would they be? And how do these students get between the buildings and portables in just 5 minutes, as per our bell schedule? Creating such a confined learning environment is not conducive to learning. How will you ensure that this environment is even quality education? There are many concerns about that on our campus. What about the environment under and around the portables? Our campus is beautiful. It's surrounded by forest, and we take great pride in taking care of this forest as best we can. How are you going to care for the environment if you're building new buildings in and around the environment? Where will the students in portable classrooms go during emergency situations? We have the Meadow, we have Old Town Road, but even those get crowded. How will safety standards be maintained when students must leave and enter the building? I fail to see how that will be addressed. How are you supporting students through this change? I personally have never felt less supported by the Board of Ed, and I have to take my time out of my finals week to come here and speak to you guys. Were incoming families informed of this change? If they were, how did that affect recruitment numbers? And if they weren't, why weren't they? This is all the questions we have and more, but due to the time limitation, I cannot ask them all here. I hope you will all answer these in a press release publicly. If not, I understand. And I do hope that we get an answer to these questions, because so far we have no transparency.
Thank you. Mr. Nelson, Steve Nelson. The mic's on already. It's already on.
Hello, everybody.
And Mr. Nelson, you'll have 3 minutes.
Respect to the board. Hello, everybody. I'm here tonight because as a community person, I have some issues that I want to bring to the board. I'm not here to speak. I'm here to speak with community concerns. As a retired 35-year school police veteran, grandparent, 3 grandkids that attend Thomas Hooker School. I hear there's so much out in the community. I'm hearing so much out in the community. Some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. And I'm old enough to understand there's 3 sides to a story. There's the left side, there's the right side, and then there's the truth. So I want to be clear. out for justice, no matter who it's for or who it's against. And looking into the eyes of your staff, and I want to say this to you guys, we have to have transparency and respect for one another. We, as the community, have to respect your positions that you hold in our city, and you have to respect the community and be open and not be trying to sweep stuff under the rug. And I am not making accusations. I'm only saying transparency. There shouldn't be no dark side to some of these stories, especially when they're in the community. And we have to look at parents who are asking us questions, kids who are asking questions, and we're not getting any feedback from nobody from Board of Ed. Hooker School is a very good school. I support the principal 100%. I'm sure the parents that in the pack support the principal. She's had a lot of cards to deal with this year, with the SOARS classes and the special ed classes and the closing down of classrooms, which merged kids and made bigger classrooms. And now we're talking about merging again, which will affect one of my grandsons who's going to 6th grade next year. I don't know whose ideas all this stuff is coming from. I don't know who's making these choices, but it's affecting the community. It's affecting a community school. A community school is very, very important for communities where people live at, and they could send their kid to their local school. Very important. So we have to, and I know my time's short, madam, we got to figure a way out to do a better job of communication with the community. We really do. Now, again, I'm going to close. I know there's some stuff out in the air, but I just got to leave you with this. Back in 9/11, the whole United States was told, if you see something, say something. So we don't penalize people for saying something. I want to be clear with that. I want to be clear over here with that. People don't get penalized if they see something and they say something. You sit down, you investigate, you come up with an open ending conclusion that if we have to swallow it and it doesn't look good, then we swallow it. But if you got to swallow it, you got to swallow it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Next we have Angelica Mercer.
Never came to one of these meetings before and didn't know I had to, but I'm speaking as a parent and I'm speaking as a employee. And I want to know, why weren't parents at Thomas Hooker notified that a staff member was under investigation for serious allegations involving a student and yet another young staff member? Why weren't parents notified that the teacher was using a PlayStation during educational time to distract a student from inappropriate behavior occurring in his classroom in front of him? How long had the PlayStation been present and permitted in his classroom? And was this all year? What steps were taken to ensure other students had not been affected by this teacher who had allegations of sexual assault? Like, as stressful as this has been, if a kid comes up to me, because 19-year-olds are kids, I have a 19-year-old, I have an 8-year-old, I have a 4-year-old. So if a 19-year-old comes and reports something that happened to her, it's very stressful and baffling to me that I went through all steps to report this and she's been harassed and I've reported that and no one's answered. Now that we're almost 30 days out, the harassment has moved on to me. And now I'm the problem. As a mother, I don't have all my kids in the same school with me, but one of them is with me. And I'm wondering what's going on in my other kids' school, because this is allowed in the school that I'm working in. And if I don't say something, who will? you're risking your job. You're risking your husband's job. That is the answer for me. This girl has suicidal thoughts, all types of things, and I'm working to get her therapy and all types of things. This little boy has not been offered any type of therapy from anyone, knowing he's been assaulted after the allegations from the teacher. So within a 3-month period, all these things is going on. What is going on in all the other schools where people are scared to talk about? Because I've talked and now all eyes on me, and now I have to look over my shoulder. And now staff members feel I can't do my job because I've reported it. I can't keep nobody safe now. I've been working for the Board of Education for 12 years. Now, because I've reported a sexual assault and a 7-year-old being neglected, I can't do my job right. To my understanding, I did more than my job. And maybe I have let it get to me a little too much. And you guys should be ashamed of yourself.
Emma Alamo.
Good evening, Dr. Avery and Board of Education. I did not plan on speaking tonight, but because this is near and dear to me, I have no choice but to speak. I am speaking on behalf of Bridgeport Military Academy. And for you young people that do not know about Bridgeport Military Academy, Bridgeport Military Academy belonged with Fairchild Wheeler. Bridgeport Military Academy was part of a grant, a federal grant of $11.2 million that was given and allocated to this city so that BMA could be part of Fairchild Wheeler. They were given 1 year to be there, and then these children were displaced. They were put in St. Ambrose School. They were put in where they are now. These kids have been displaced from the very beginning, and it is not okay. This is a very, very good program. My children were part of this program. The first graduating class, Joseph Anthony Falco, went on not only to go to law school, but to be a captain in the military, and he's a Marine. He's a Marine. My other nephew, he's a Marine. He's a police officer in Washington State. And there's so many other kids that not only have gone on to college, but that they also serve this country. And I also serve this country. I serve these veterans every day. And it is not okay for these kids to be displaced any longer. They belonged in Fairchild Wheeler campus. That was their home, but they were taken out of there because the principal at the time said that they were scuffing up the floors, that their marching was inappropriate, and he was nitpicking. And I remember, and this city councilman was one of the ones that helped me maintain Bridgeport Military Academy. And they found us another home, and then they found us another home. And I'm sorry that you guys feel the way you do, that you guys feel like you guys are being disrupted, the children of that school. But just so you know, Fairchild Wheeler is their home. That is their original home, that they were displaced, and it is not okay. I'm sorry that you guys, your questions are not being answered the way they should or the way you like, but for these children to feel unwelcome, it is not okay. It is not, because we're one city, one school, whether it's Harding High School, Bassick High School, Central High School, Bridgeport Military Academy, Fairchild Wheeler, we are one. We have to be one. We have to maintain as one school, one community for all you guys, because I stand before you, not only as a mother, but also as a graduate from the city of Bridgeport. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I came from nothing. From nothing. I was very, very poor. And look at me today because of Bridgeport. So let's do the right thing.
Next up, the last speaker is Mr. Albert Benahan Grajales.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Albert Benahanga Hollis. I remember when my son started Bridgeport Public School when Webster School was open. He was 5 years old and he graduated from Bassick High School. When I decided to run as a board member, the first thing I say, Bridgeport Public School, the students and parents are my priority. I'm not here like I have a title. I'm here as a parent. I have 3 boys went to Bridgeport Public School. And I call you, I want to ask you, Mr. Dr. Avery, can you please let's have another meeting with the students and parents and staff to listen to them and ask them the questions? Because I know they'll have more questions. And I want them to feel like we are here to listen to them. That's the one of the priority we here, to talk to them and to listen to them. Um, we're not here to say you guys not belong to Fairchild Whaler or the one on Bridgeport Military School. No, we're here to do the best we can for Bridgeport Public School. It's not easy what we're doing. It's good to point people, but it's not come. They don't come to say, "Can we help you? What we can do?" Dr. Avery and myself and all the board members, we're here to listen to you. We elected Fisher to listen to you. I work for you guys. You guys decide to elect me and vote. I don't get paid for this, but it's a passion what I'm doing. For almost 20 years, I'm doing this. So as I will tell you, I work for you guys. I'm here to listen to you, to answer your questions, right? Maybe I don't have the answer that moment, but trust me, I will find the answer. The cabinet, Dr. Avery, and everybody know me, they know who I am. I'm not here to not ignore you. So I want you to feel, guys, we're not here for you. Yes, we are here for you. And for all Bridgeport Public School, remember, it's a 37 school, almost 20,000 students, almost 5,000 staff. You know, it's not easy what we're going through. The cabinet is not easy what we're going through. Dr. Avery, as a board member, we have to deal with a lot of things, guys, you know, but we're here to listen to you. You guys are priority. Don't think like we're going to give you behind, we're not listening to you. Trust me, as Mr. Benahan Grajali here and as a second term board member, be almost 20 years, I'm here to work for you. I work for you guys. And I believe my colleague, they will say the same thing. So I don't want you to feel like we ignore you guys. You know, so it's sad that people like to point and same thing. Another thing, do not listen. People talk negative stuff from outside. That's the first thing that people, when it's a negative, everybody run. When it's about positive, what Bridgeport Public School is doing, what Dr. Avery and everybody's doing, nobody say that. You have to understand for so many years, we got the city working with Bridgeport Public School. We never had that for so many years. Everybody know that. So we trying to work together as a team. But when it's about negative,
You have to address the board, not the.
thank you. When it's about negative, please, when you heard something, come to us. My phone is over 24/7, guys. As I said, I work for you guys. I'm listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you for everybody who spoke tonight. We're gonna move on to my report. I am gonna jump ahead a little bit on my report to some recognition that we have. We're gonna be recognizing our student representatives who are here today for the year that they've given us. A lot of our student reps this year, many of you, if you've been following us, have been seeing a lot of the advocacy that we've been doing either here at the board meetings, at city council, or at the state. And these student reps have been a big part of that, coming out and speaking at the Capitol or writing their legislators. So we really appreciate the work you've done. And we're proud of you seniors, especially who are going on to bigger and better things. We just hope that no matter where you go, you always remember Bridgeport and do what you can to just do good for people, right? And so we do want to recognize, I'm gonna announce all the student reps who've served this year. You're gonna only have a handful of them to hear today. So as I announce them, you guys can come on up and I'll hand you your certificate. Or Dr. Avery might hand you the certificate. It's kind of out of order, but so I'll start with oh, I guess I could go in the front. All right, so we have from Central High School, Christian Bika. We also, from Central High School, had Adrian Holloway, who's not with us right now. From Harding High School, Shanoy Frazier. It's two there. And are you the president? Are you the, Rebecca, no, you're the president of Harding? Or our student body president? No? Okay, well, she's on the, she's up there. Rebecca Bristow, she handles all the social media for Harding. So when you see Harding, Harding social media page, a lot of it comes from Rebecca. Great to have Rebecca. Good page. We have, not with us here today, Brian Almeida Teo. And Raquel Paulo. We have from Bassick, Najali Roman and Alexis Cunningham. I'm getting through the list, guys. And Shanoy Clark from Bassick as well. From BMA, Deborah Graciano Braga Silva. Ishani Allen. We also have from Fairchild Arrow, Ashley Beckford. Omar Rayashi. From Fairchild Bio, Daniela Gomez. And Anuj Bahal. And also from Fairchild, Geronimo Restrepo Munoz, Anita Frazel. So just want to thank you once again, okay? So thank you so much for everything. And we'll get a picture with, want this one? Yeah. All right, we also have one more a student to recognize today. And this student is, I don't know, Aran, do you want to come up to be a part of this part? Yeah, so this student is actually our city's poet laureate. She won, when was it? Want to explain what the poet laureate does? Yeah.
No, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here. But I'd like to officially welcome and introduce our next student poet laureate, Gabrielle Cook, who is a current sophomore at Central Magnet. And I'd also like to recognize Gabrielle was chosen out of a pool of 17 really, really outstanding writers. So I do want to give a quick shout out to those that also participated in the process. But I would officially like to introduce Gabrielle Cook. She has a short poem she'd like to.
Evening. I actually would like to say something before I read my poem. And I, being here as in like a student as well and knowing what has been going on, I would like to say that like the students are heart of our community. And as a student advocate for everything, it's very important for me. And hearing what's been going on kind of gets me a little emotional. And for students to be supported very well and seeing them thrive is how we get them in the future very outstandingly as our change makers of today, because obviously not everyone's going to be around for a while, and we're the next generation that the community needs to sit here and have people in your seats when the time comes. But my poem is called Our Future. We are more than numbers, grades, and scores. We are the future leaders opening new doors, giving us the tools, the chance, and the voice, because opportunity should never be a choice. Invest in students, help our futures grow. The impact you make today will continue to show.
Thank you. Also, is Committee provides. That would be beautiful.
Dad's gonna get in the picture too. Yeah.
I think we're closer to the. I feel like we're closer. All right. All right. And so the last part of my report. So again, thank you to the students who came out today, and good luck this summer. It's almost over. I do want to give an update on the Board of Education's progress in state intervention. We did approve, we did vote on last week, this time last week, I believe, a superintendent search firm to begin our search for a permanent superintendent. And a part of that, the Commissioner of Education, of the Department of Education will be covering the cost for that search firm. And we will begin once we sign a contract with the firm. So we are using Zeal Education Group as our search. And so once that contract's signed, we'll give more information on when we'll see some focus groups and community involvement in the search process. So we will be doing that. We did approve all of our 2000 and 3000 series policies over the past forever, it feels like, but about a better half of the year. We've been working on updating our policies to make them current, making sure that they abide by state statutes, federal regulations. And so we are going through the process of additional policies as the year progresses. But the main ones that we were really focusing on this past year were the 2000 series and 3000 series. And all of our bylaws as well have been updated. So, we've had felt like a long year and a half with the state intervention. And while they're still involved a bit with us, we are hoping that we're nearing the end of, doing what we needed to do to kind of move forward as a board and really start to implement what we want to see for this district, for the students of this district specifically. With that said, I do want to, my last part of my report, I do want to just thank all the staff who have supported the board this year. Board meetings, we don't just show up. There's a whole team of staff behind this who do the bulk of the work, all the work. And, sometimes they don't get recognized. So I do want to recognize the cabinet members and also just the staff at central office who put together our packets. Danielle Cochon, our board clerk, secretary, whatever we call her. She does it all. I don't know if we should give you a title because you do everything. So, but she really is behind putting these meetings together. And I know that the board would be lost without you, Danielle. So thank you so much for everything you do. And I will end it there, I guess, with the chairperson report. We will be having some special meetings coming up in regards to, the board, you're finding out about this today, sorry. Next week, Dr. Avery is actually going to present his end of the year review, to the board. And that will follow with, another special meeting later in the month, for his end of the year evaluation, which is an annual tradition. I don't really know if I should call it a tradition, but obligation. Um, And so, we'll announce those meetings, as we always do, online. So with that said, we will move on to committee reports and
Madam
referrals.
Chair.
Yes, Mr. Sakalovic.
I got questions to your report, and actually
yeah,
I
go
got a referral to you as the chairperson.
Mhm.
I'd like us to hold a couple of community meetings with the Fairchild Wheeler BMA community because there seems to be a lot of angst and animus out there. Seems like, whether true or not, there's a perception that they were neglected in the conversation, and we as a Board of Education being elected, we need to take the lead on that community forum and have a board-called community forum with the superintendent in attendance to answer questions of the community. A community should not, whether valid or not, feel disrespected in the process. So we need to clean that up. And we need to get these kids together because I heard some tension and pressure. We need to address that before the school year starts. And I believe the responsible thing to do would be at least 2 or 3 community forums at Fairchild Wheeler with, at the very least, BMA and Fairchild Wheeler parents and students being invited to have a open, honest dialogue.
You have another, you said a few things.
Uh,
That's all?
Yeah, that's
Gotcha. Anybody else before I move on to committees? All right, so the operations committee, we met last Wednesday and the bulk of this agenda came from that committee. We spoke on using new solar contracts for Central High School, Marin and Curiel schools. I know Central High School will also include a carport, how do you say it? Carport roof something and walkway for their solars. And we'll get more, we might get more information today about that, but that was presented last meeting. We also spoke on the budget for the next school year. And that was, we are grateful for being able to balance the budget for next year so far. And we're hoping that, you know, as the month goes on before the end of the fiscal year, we might get a surprise and hopefully get additional dollars. And if so, you know, we'll come back to decide on how we should spend that or use it, I should say. And there was also some, we spoke on the revised, updated ed specification for the new specialized school that will be built on the current Skane Schools campus. And yeah, so that's kind of the bulk of what we talked about in the operations committee. We do not have any regular operations committees scheduled for the summertime, but if something does come up and we need to have a meeting, we will definitely have special meetings throughout the summer to make sure that any issues with facilities or finance issues come before the board in a timely manner. So we will, Mr. Skalovic, you have something? I'll take your referral, Mr. Skalovic, you've been waiting.
Yeah, I would like to refer, basically a quarterly report for the first meeting. I know we do not have it in our bylaws until a certain date, but I would like to see, to start off the year with one, just as it's written, just like the line items, the groups, and just a more robust thing. Because today we're approving a final budget. It's like 4 pages. I would like to see us begin the next fiscal year off with a robust look at the budget, complete line items like the city council does. There's been a few suggestions for that, which is an awesome suggestion. And we need to be more diligent and dissecting of the budget or something like that.
Okay. Any further referrals? Again, these won't come before us till like September, but if it need to come sooner, we will. Mr. Traber stepped out. Mr. Whitson, do you have any updates for policy committee?
No, so far.
Mr. Skalovic?
Yeah, I think maybe we should have a meeting, at least over the summer, because we still got a whole bunch of series to look at
and to knock it out, so by the first meeting of the next school year, we could have a series of policies for them to for us to look at and approve.
Mhm.
I don't know what number we're up to. We're up to 4,000?
We're gonna
The
get to
4,000, the
4,000.
4,000 series and maybe the 5,000 series over the summer. Should be just two meetings, nothing to stop us.
We'll jump into the ad hocs. Mr. Benny, since you're the only one here right now, do you have anything for your ad hoc? Nothing? All right. Any referrals for Mr. Bennihan's ad hoc on the facilities master plan? I do want to announce that we are going to be starting another ad hoc committee with, chaired by Ms. Esther Jimenez, looking at the lottery system for, magnet schools. And so, we don't foresee that to be a long process. We look at, I think a lot of the work has been done in what they're looking to do. But, that will be starting, we planned on doing it after the school year when we get the budget done. And so, I know Ms. Esther Jimenez will be starting that, in the next month or so. She plans to have, 2 to 3 meetings, with that committee. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't recall who I assigned to that committee. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's, okay, Mr. Traber and Mr. Benningham were assigned to it. Okay. So, be on the lookout for, when that'll start. Mr. Traber, do you have any updates for the Instruction Support Services Committee? Microphone? Okay, you're done for the year. Okay. Any referrals to his committee? Alrighty. Is there anything for the CABE report?
For the CAPE report, it's just pretty similar to what I've been reporting. They have a bunch of save the dates for the fall. They do have, a webinar June 17th for Connecticut school funding changes, also during lunchtime, but, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Alrighty. So we're gonna move on to the superintendent's, report. So Dr. Raby.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a little video that we're going to play, but first of all, I'm going to, one of the things that for the board and for the community, we are moving away from Parent Square and we'll be moving to Power School. Power School is a student system that we currently use in the district. Power School has added this component to our overall package for the use of Power School. The district used to use School Messenger years back, and it changed. Power School has since purchased or combined School Messenger with Power School. So it's now one system. And so and our parents currently use Power School for attendance, report cards, discipline. So it's all one platform. So instead of having to use multiple platforms or multiple apps, they can use one app for everything school-wide for Bridgeport. And so that's kind of why we're shifting over to it. So I want to make sure that, we start communicating that to the community, communicating that with our parents. We're going to have both programs running at the same time in order to make sure that we have a good crossover, to make sure parents are switching over to from the Parent Square to the School Messenger perspective. School Messenger would also, one of the things we talked about today is being effective communicators and being able to do a better job with that. I think with the use of Power School and School Messenger, we're going to be able to do a better job there as well. So excited to kind of go back to the use of School Messenger. There's a lot of powerful tools that we're going to be able to use. So I want to make sure that we start that off. We've met with principals, directors. Now we're going to be reaching out to parents. We're going to be doing some promotional things throughout the summer and a huge kickoff at the beginning of the school year in August, and then continue to do that as we transition more parents and students onto the platform. So looking forward to that. But Tim, you have a video for me or something?
Raising a student takes a village and a lot of organization. You already trust Power School to keep track of your child's educational journey. Now, staying connected is about to get even easier. Meet My Power Hub. We're doing even more to support you and your children by bringing everything together in one location. Say goodbye to juggling multiple apps. Our modern, user-friendly dashboard gives you a crystal clear view of your child's day. Grades, attendance, schedules, report cards, forms, and messages are now all in one place. We also know your time is valuable. My Power Hub cuts through the noise with targeted communications. You'll only receive updates that are actually relevant to your child, their school, or their program, putting an end to information overload. Engagement is easier than ever with mobile-friendly access, two-way communication tools, and built-in language support. From routine event reminders and attendance updates to urgent emergency alerts, everything is delivered through one connected platform. The Power School you know, now doing more for the people who matter most. My Power Hub, everything your family needs, one place.
And one of the neat features of this is that it has multiple languages where everything will be transferred into the native language of the parent or the student regarding the attendance, all the different aspects of what the Power Hub will provide our students and parents. And so at this time, Madam Chair, I would be glad to answer any questions.
Mr. Medina?
You did answer part of my question, which was Power School language. The Power, it's called My Power Hub. How many languages is supporting? But you answered that there is multiple language supporting. So thank you for that information. Why the change with this whole messenger? What are the pros and cons? I know you mentioned some of the things in your presentation. So what is the timeline that we're looking at to integrate these two systems and get away from the other one?
We're starting the process now, going to go all through the summertime. We're going to keep both platforms up through probably September, October, so we can make sure that everybody's shifted over to make sure everybody is feeling comfortable. There's training modules, there's videos, there's all the different aspects so there's a lot involved over the next couple of months and really putting that in front of the community to make sure that the transition is done smoothly. Any new families that are coming into the district between now and then, that they'll get that at the enrollment center. We'll get them connected and transferred over. And then we have a way of looking at the shift over and making sure parents that are currently on Parent Square also have their platform and their passwords for School Messenger, and then making that transition that way. So we're not going to put a timeline of when we're going to stop it. We're going to just wait through till it's fluid and everybody is using the new platform.
Thank you. Is there any cost associated with that new My Power Hub?
Well, one of the things that we're saving $80,000 with getting away from Parent Square, and the transition over to our school is working with the existing contract because Power School bought School Messenger. It's easier to kind of make that connection with the full. So what's going to happen as we go back to renew, all of that's going to be, in the next proposal. So they're giving us an opportunity to take the lead and get in for now for nothing, as we work through the new negotiations to the Power School. We've been using Power School for 20 plus years, forever. And so they just acquired it. And so, because it used to be on its own when the district used it, it was School Messenger was on its own. Now, Power School has acquired it legally, and so now it's all under one umbrella. So that's kind of why it's easier for us to tap into it and save $80,000 and be able to still use a very fluid, more powerful tool for the use of School Messenger. That's kind of what we're doing with everything. When we're evaluating programs, how do we save money? Again, Nestor and I had to do a $9 million savings to have a balanced budget. So these are the types of things that we're trying to do in order to add dollars to be able to make sure that we don't have to cut staff. So that's the way my team has been trying to make sure that we made that happen. I can thank PJ. He's not in the room, but he's our Power School expert. And so we're going to be doing some things for them in order for them to say they have a large school district in the state of Connecticut using Power School, and that's Bridgeport. So we're leveraging, giving it to us now, let us use it, and then we can be your spokesperson and district for the new product. And so it's really, really neat. I think it's going to be really beneficial for us, from a communication standpoint. So I think all those things are important to grab hold of and go with it. So yes, thank you for that question.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's a good highlight.
Mr. Benahan Grajales? I'll go around. So Mr. Benahan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Great. That's very great. But I do have a question. I know Power School, sometimes they have some issue when you press here, they take it to another page, and then you press here, and they take another page. This one's gonna be like you press whatever, let's see, Power School parent want to know something about any communication, anything happening in Bridgeport, they will come out there, right?
Yes, and the way Power School is designed, when we set it up as a district, if a parent has, an issue that they want to talk to the nurse, that message will go directly to the nurse.
Okay.
If we have an emergency situation that comes in from a parent, my administration have this behind the scenes, it goes to individual people that we direct the Power School messages to go to. So there's a way of being able to capture and expedite, and I can see who responds, what time they respond, if they didn't respond. There's a whole lot of back behind the things that are going to be beneficial for us as a district as we communicate. And so I think that's really what I feel is needed. I used to use School Messenger on the old platform with the old company in my previous districts, and it worked really, really well. So as as Power School reinvented School Messenger and put their own touches to it, because Power School is around a lot of districts across the country, especially in Connecticut. So we're just really kind of grabbing that and using and being able to use this portion of their new program, as a zero cost in order for us to really kind of work through and learn the program, communicate the program, and show how it would work in a big, large school district.
And also, I have to ask you the question, you know that, I know each school, we're gonna have that, program. At the same time, they're gonna have, let's see, if the parent wanna communicate with the PAC and PTS, so they have something, like you said, they go directly, with the nurse, like you said, they can have something like that, contact whoever's the leader.
Yeah, there'll be little, I think, they used to have little buttons, and then it may say PTO president, and then they can click that button and send a message to the PTO person as well. So those are the things that we're going to try to do to kind of, tailor it to make sure that we can get concerns met quicker than not, and being able to kind of work through that. So
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a learning curve for everybody, but that's just part of what we do.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to, and that's why we're starting early and trying to communicate that. I think the communication department provides the board with a timeline of what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks and who we're going to be presenting information to. That's the whole part of being able to be, and then me bringing it to the community. And now we're going to start doing the promotions to the community and all those, and the parents as well.
And anything about special education that will have their parent, they need to
Absolutely.
communicate. A question for you, very important. If somebody answer back to one of your staff rude, what's gonna happen?
There will be an alert to the emergency people in the district that, either there was a foul language used in the message, there's keywords that any threatening types of things, those things will automatically come up to my office and to our security people that's behind the scenes as well. So again, it's just a matter of just looking through that, and we can block them. We know who it is. We know when they did it, all these types of things, because it's all into our student system. So it works out really, really well.
And how much money you saving?
About $80,000.
I have to say, you're like always doing history. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Esther Perez?
Thank you. It's almost like you kind of saw one of my questions coming up. Because originally I had just 2 questions and I had 3, so thank you so much for communicating that we'll be saving $80,000 on this. Every little bit helps, and also the nice safety features that the platform will have. My questions are about items that parents have either come up to me and or teachers, a teacher came up to me. And so the first one is about half days. So a few days, it could have been last week. I can't remember. A half day was called, very short notice. So I wanted to know if you can explain what the protocol is for calling a half a day and if we can attempt to give parents more notice. Personally, I got the notice while I was in a work meeting, while screen sharing, my camera was on and it was very disruptive because I don't pick up or drop off my kids. My mother-in-law does it and she doesn't get the notification. So really quickly, I'm trying to text like, hey, in an hour and a half, can you pick up the kids, please? I didn't know if she had any appointments or anything like that. So it would be nice if we can prevent that from happening. I also realize, and trying to be realistic here, that it's very difficult to tell the weather, but in this situation, we knew that there was a very hot day coming up the day before. So if we can give parents at least a day's notice rather than hours, I think that would be helpful. So would you let us know what the process is?
The protocol for calling a half day is there's a lot of impact with that. It could be where I have AC breakage at buildings and it's too hot. There's all different types of scenarios that come to play. My staff is monitoring weather. There could be something that happens in the community that we have to kind of get the kids. So sometimes decisions are having to be made based on the emergency situation at hand. At the beginning of this summer season, when the weather was kind of, very hot at the beginning, and it cooled off, and then rain again and hot again. I mean, we still had a whole nother month of school. If I were to call school off half days, we won't have enough time to meet the academic requirements of the state of Connecticut. If I give a precursor every time it's going to be 90 degrees outside, there's no way to do that because we're already kicking school to the end of June due to the fact that we're having makeup days, and all those makeup days are half days, but I had people emailing me, texting me, calling me at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning wanting me to cancel school. I'm not doing that because I have obligations to maintain the correct number of hours of school. And so that's the tricky part. If we go to school a half day, the state will give us credit for a full day. So I can't just say half days because our kids need academic, attention to making sure that so I try to keep that to the bare minimum as I possibly can. But you can ask my staff, we're behind closed doors contemplating what do we do. A lot of times what happens is we take from other districts when the other districts are closing or calling school early. We do that. Most weather days, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning with other Fairfield County superintendents, and we're talking about what are we all going to do. So we all kind of coordinate somewhat on a lot of those half days and weather days. But sometimes I have to make a judgment call based on, number of different circumstances. And at that point, the board is the first individuals that know what I'm going to do before I even go to the community with it, so that you guys understand why did I do it based on this? And I usually give you guys a little bit of background behind it. But other than that, it is a random kind of, thought process, but I also have to look at the amount of time in school. If I call it at 10 o'clock in the morning, there's nowhere they're going to give us credit for it. So we have to make that full day up. But if I go after 12 o'clock, it's easier to be able to get that waiver to say we still need credit for the full day, even though we went a half day. So again, there's just a lot of different scenarios, and I just have to be very cautious before I actually make that decision. And that's the purpose of the half days. Again, once the 18th, because we're supposed to be out on the 18th, but we're not out until the 28th, I think. So we've added so many more days, but again, those days are half days, but we have to get through those half days in order if we don't, and if I call school at 8 o'clock, we have to add another day to the 29th
No.
and then into July, and we don't want to do that.
No, we certainly wouldn't want to add time, but, and subset to that question would be, so last year we had the last week of school was half days. Is that something that we're considering for this year? And if so, when would we be notified? We as in like parents?
Currently, the board approved, am I right, PJ? The board, the last 2 days are half days, you know, in order to meet the minutes for the requirement. So, but we could get the other 2 days as half days, but the other days are full days, correct? So we're monitoring those hours and making sure that we're in compliance with the state.
Gotcha. So due to compliance reasons, the last week may not see additional half days just because of the timing that we have to make up. Is that an accurate assessment? Gotcha. Okay, very good. Thank you. And my last question is about Fairchild Wheeler and BMA. So in addition to hearing all the great public speaking, public comments today and the students who did great, I wanted to ask, as a district, have we worked on logistics? I do realize that we just got approval from the legislation for this to actually occur not too long ago. But my questions are around logistics. Have they been settled? And then the time of BMA at Fairchild Wheeler, how long are we expecting BMA to be at Fairchild Wheeler?
Right now, because we don't know the timeline for a new facility for BMA, it's between 3 and 4 years, but the legislation is for 2 years. And then we have an opportunity to go back to the commissioner to petition for additional years. So I don't have an answer for the amount of time and the length of the time, but it's just a matter of, but the legislation is for 2 years. And then we have the ability to go back to extend that. Logistical, situations, we're currently working through all those things due to the fact it was only, last month when we got approval. So we had to shift and be able to kind of work George's office, PJ's office, my, administrative staff, we're all working with the 4 principals to really look at the logistical pieces of where, when, and how everything's going to be done. Everything will be done for this school year before school starts. So we have a lot of work to do between now and then to logistically place input, new classrooms, new, perspectives, look at transportation, look at student parking, look at teacher parking, look at staffing. No one's losing their job. We're going to combine staff. We're going to combine not necessarily combine programs because the programs have to be separated. Fairchild Wheeler campuses will attend campuses in courses taught by Fairchild Wheeler teachers. BMA courses and in classes will be taught by BMA teachers. Technically, if you look at the big scheme of things, BMA is going to be housed in the building, and Fairchild Wheeler's 3 campuses will be working individually like they're currently doing now, and then Bridgeport Military Academy will be also in the building, but working with their individual, buildings. They're both our choice schools. They're both, our magnet, designated, academically, schools. It's just a great opportunity in the, the limited time that we had as a district to really, make it work. We did our best to really, remember, I was inherited with this, situation, and we've done the best we could. Yes, communication, just like I told parents, students, and teachers, communication could have been better. We are working on that, and we feel good and very confident that the transition is going to go well. We're going to be right there beside them, working with them to make this transition work. We feel the students are resilient. Our teachers are fantastic. They do really, really well. And then, as long as we get our parents in support of what we're doing, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for all. And it's a very unfortunate situation when you look at displacement of children and buildings and teachers and staff, and that's what we do in Bridgeport. That's what we've inherited. So we have to do our best job of being able to, again, be transparent, work through the issues, and hope for the best. And I think that's going to be a good thing for us. But again, it's a very unfortunate situation. But I think we made the initial conversations with the groups. We're going to have a lot more of those, and we're hoping to really make it better for everyone. And yes, change is different. Change is difficult sometimes, and we're well on our way. And I think we're going to be able to do a better job if we communicate better, get more people involved. That's the game plan moving forward.
Thank you, Dr.
Mr.
Sakalovic.
Um,
We're going to circles. Go ahead.
Yeah, outside the human piece that we just discussed, what's the finance gonna look like? Because Fairchild Wheeler has empty seats that we're always trying to recruit to generate revenue. So what's the balance gonna look like? I mean, we can't recruit for Fairchild Wheeler, and a number of BMA students is going to be contracted to the space that's available. So it seems like both schools will be contracted in their ability to recruit. So how are we dealing with that part?
Well, one of the things that I think a lot of people don't know, the Fairchild Wheeler's building, it has a capacity of 1,500 students. Currently, we have about 900 some odd students at Fairchild Wheeler, currently at all three schools. BMA has about 250 kids. So there's still a little bit of, capacity space there to be able to work through, the partnership with the two schools. Yes, there are going to be some logistical things that we are working through right now. We are currently looking at building about 9 to 10 classrooms in some of the existing spaces there. And then if there's a need, we're also looking at the possibility of being able to bring a couple of portables in if needed. So we've looked and talked about those things, but logistically, we have to be able to, we've over the last couple of years, you have at Fairchild Wheeler, you have a 70-25 ratio. Over the last 3 to 4 years, Fairchild Wheeler has not met that ratio. Back in COVID time, 2020, the district petitioned to bring about 200 kids from Bridgeport schools into play because the enrollment was going down due to the COVID situation. And so, again, there's a lot of what's happening around the suburban schools, other districts. Since 2012, other districts have enhanced their academic programming. And so one of the things that we're doing, and we started it last year in all of our high schools, because based on the demographic study, our high schools are going to be increasing enrollment. In order to do that and do it in a better way, we have to change programming. So what I have right now is Bridgeport University and Goodwin University are working with my principals at the high school level to look at programming, look at some of the industry standard certifications and career pathways that kids are interested in these days. Cybersecurity, manufacturing, those things are new, professional career focused opportunities that schools are building really innovative programs around. And so our team, our high school team, is working through that same process to be able to kind of enhance programs. And so hopefully as we build new programs in all 4 campuses, we'll have an ability to kind of look at the enrollment side of it. Yes, right now, BMA they have a long waiting list, just as Fairchild Wheeler has a long waiting list. But the waiting list at Fairchild Wheeler is for Bridgeport kids, and we're maxed at the 70%. So we can't allow Bridgeport kid to go to Fairchild Wheeler. So, but with this legislative, avenue, they're just letting us do that temporarily, although they'll be separated because BMA will have their own campus number, their own accountability, their own attendance ability. All those things are same. They're just going to be housed in the building because of the opportunity for space. Because we couldn't find any, and we've been looking for space for the last 2 years. And every time we went to pursue something, it didn't work, and remember, if you think back a little bit, we had the first initial conversation with the commissioner about moving BMA there because we knew we had the space, but it was rejected because it's an intra-district magnet. Is that the reason why they didn't allow us to bring them in initially? And then we went another route by having legislation, and approved by the legislators to get them in. So it's important to look at those numbers, and we're following those numbers to make sure that we don't have any ability to limit, Fairchild Wheelers, making sure that we can get kids from the suburban side of the equation, to make sure, again, the integrity of their programs, all those things, the integrity of BMA programs, all are set to be the same. Same standard of, pushing teachers to get, higher standard in tier 1 instruction in all courses, making sure that we don't limit their recruiting, all those things that's important for them to be their own entity as well. And so that's kind of where we are with that.
Thank you. I look forward to hearing more about this.
Mr. Traber?
Yes, and in the short term, my understanding is that while we may have been late doing so, we have now initiated conversations with the students, faculty and parents, students, staff and parents at Fairchild Wheeler. And this will be an ongoing process that will incorporate the same students and staff from BMA in a collaborative effort to work out the various problems and kinks that you're talking about, so that it's done collaboratively with the administration, and everybody's working together to solve the problems that need to be fixed.
Yes, sir. I think that's been the most important piece of this whole puzzle, is really getting in front of students. Last week, I had an opportunity to meet with the 3 campuses at Fairchild Wheeler, the students, and also, having a meeting with the Bridgeport Military Academy students as well. We had meetings last week with the the Fairchild Wheeler teachers, as well as the parents. I met with the parents today. My understanding, it was a very good fluid situation. I think it was an opportunity for us to, deal with things in a way that was very professional, I felt. Yes, the first group of students was a little bit more rambunctious than the others, but as we went through the day and as we ended by conversations with students, it went very, very well. I was very pleased. And even at that first meeting, the principal got everything in control. We got started working, and I had several questions asked of me and was responded to in a very positive way. And so again, different perspectives from different people who were there or who was not there. But again, but moving forward, we have to continue to have conversation. The parents today had really good comments about them being able to help us with the transition with their own children. It was a beautiful conversation. I think that's what we have to do more of. And yes, it was late notice. I had previous conversations already with the BMA staff, because we moved from one direction, one option to the other option that changed. So I had to keep them connected with the different options. So again, but we have two major things happening pretty quickly. By the end of the school year, we'll have a luncheon for the teachers. Bridgeport Military teachers will be joining Fairchild Wheeler's teachers for a luncheon provided by my office. And then we have an opportunity for students to be able to engage where they will also have a picnic where we will do a combination of different activities and things that they will be able to have some time before school ends to be able to come together and work. And then we're going to do a few other things throughout the summer and right before school start to have that engagement again. And then at that time, we have all the logistical things worked out. We have where they're going to be in the building. We have a visual of where they're going to be. All these things is going to come together in a meaningful way that no question, we're going to have a frequently asked question thing that's going to go on the website, and they're going to be able to see some of those questions and how they're answered, because a lot of people have the same questions. So we want to make sure that we're transparent and all that moving forward.
But what I've also heard is it's an interactive need.
Yes, sir.
The questions, and they'll have answers too. They'll have suggestions. And that sort of interactive is a very positive thing for us to engage in.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We'll start with the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion was made by Mr. Traber. Second by Mr. Medina.
Madam Chair,
We're gonna open it for discussion.
item 9B has its own motion and has very specific language that we need.
To read out loud. Okay, we pull it out. Do you have that pulled up?
I do.
Okay, so keep it pulled up. So we'll move out 9B. For everything else, is there any further discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor of the consent agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Online, what's your votes? Can I get votes online?
Lamont Daniels, aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
All right, so the consent agenda passes. We're gonna move on. We'll add 9B to the end because we have a presentation first. So I want to move on to Miyawaki for his presentation. So you can come up and you can come to the podium and just click on the power button on the microphone and you can go ahead. The new business, Miyawaki Forest presentation. Mhm. And then we'll add 9B to the end. Yeah.
I'm just going to be brief. Several years ago, most of you know, we partnered with the Aspetuck Land Trust to plant Miyawaki forests in some of the Bridgeport schools. These were the first forests planted in the state of Connecticut and only the second on the East Coast. And since then, they've been thriving, and Aspetuck has a little bit of a presentation to give you. But the 7 schools that have forests are Blackham, Clater, Marin, Hooker, Winthrop, Tisdale, and Dunbar. And you'll see from the slideshow that's going to follow how they're thriving. So I do want to give a shout out to the Aspetuck Land Trust. They provided all the hundreds and hundreds of trees and shrubs at no cost to the city or the board. They engaged our students in the planting process. I remember Dr. Avery was there at Blackham with us several years back. They came to the classrooms to educate students on environmental issues. They tagged trees with the students. They taught students how to identify trees. So it's really been a wonderful partnership, and they do have a little bit of a presentation that they'd like to give. So I'd like to turn it over to Mary Ellen LeMay, who's the conservation coordinator at the Aspetuck Land Trust and the architect of all these Miyawaki forests. She was the one that got the grant from the Department of Agriculture, the state Department of Agriculture, and has been the steward of all these Miyawaki forests. So I'll turn it over to Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. So I have a slide presentation that I think hopefully was loaded up. The man behind the curtain said it was there. It's okay. So I can tell you that, as Ron said, we had 7 schools that we planted these at, and actually one of the schools, Winthrop, we had to move it after 2 years because Winthrop's going under construction. I guess they're going to do the new school. So it was a test case for us to see if we could actually move this forest, and we did. We dug it up last winter, and so while the trees are sleeping, they're dormant and you can dig them up. And we moved them to Blackham. So the Blackham School, Milwaukee, is bigger than it used to be. So the reason that, while I wait for the slides, I just have pictures of all the schools before and after. This technique was developed as a forestry technique in Japan in the 1980s. Akira Miyawaki is the botanist who came up with this idea, and he was given the task of going to all of Japan's industrial sites and bringing trees very quickly back to industrial sites. And so the more I learned about this method, I thought that this would be a perfect fit for Bridgeport because Bridgeport has the lowest tree canopy in the state of Connecticut. Just for numbers perspective, the state of Connecticut, the average tree canopy is 67%. In most urban areas in the state, it's 49%. Bridgeport is 20%. That is the lowest in the state. And there are areas in the East End that have only a 5 or 9% tree cover. So we actually have 2 Milwaukee forests planted in the East End. So I'm wondering if you can give me a full screen on that, if possible. Okay, so anyway, this was the very first Milwaukee that we planted at the Clater School. It was October 3rd, 2023. And thanks to the work with Ron, certain schools were connected with us to put these schools in, and he discovered that the 4th graders was the sweet spot. And so we had some key teachers that were involved. So in the photos going forward, you're going to see these are always 4th grade students that we used to help us to plant the trees. And you can scroll if you want to the next one. There you go, Clater School. This was in year 2. It's a much bigger forest. It's right over here, actually. It's one of the smallest ones that we did. But because it's a coastal environment, we're finding that the coastal trees and shrubs that we planted are doing really well there. It's a very harsh and hot school environment. And so the next slide is John Winthrop School, which is another one. There's 4th graders there. There's Ron in the lower left corner. And we loved the pictures from Winthrop because the kids, again, 4th graders, were a little bit bigger than the trees that we put in. And I think if you go to the next slide, you'll see what they look like now. This is how big the trees are. And the kids were out there this past fall. We were flagging the trees and they were over their heads. So we promised them by the time they left Winthrop School, the trees would be towering over them. And that's already happened at year 2. So this has been moved and dug up, and we moved it to Blackham. This is Blackham on planting day, October 5th. And 2023. So this is actually going to be in October, our biggest and oldest at 3 years. So the next slide shows it. And now we have the Yale School of Forestry interested in what we're doing here because this is the first ones in the state of Connecticut. And they are measuring the height and growth of these forests because, as you can see, from little one gallon pots, they are now over people's heads. So it's been remarkable. They are all native plants, and they're planted very, very densely, so really close together, which defies most forestry logic. But they connect underground, and they nurture each other. And so the next slide is Tisdale Schools. Tisdale Schools, you can see in the upper left, was just a big round circle of grass. And to me, that was a perfect location to do this forest. And so we planted that one on May 6, 2024. Tisdale School, if you scroll to the next slide, you can see how big it is now. That person is walking through there. Again, I was there last week and it's over my head. We are going to Tisdale tomorrow to mulch the pathways because the Department of Agriculture commissioner is coming to see this forest and some of the others because they paid for them. And so the schools all got this grant from the Department of Agriculture. So the next one is Hooker School. Again, that was just a big open field. And then the next one that's a smaller Milwaukee. The next one at Marin School. Again, was placed right next to the outdoor classroom. So hopefully over time, the kids will be able to sit in that classroom and look straight at a forest, which will be right behind their chairs. We've gone out there with Marin and also flagged identified the trees, which is shown on the next slide. So you can see how big they grew. This was last year. And so the next one is Dunbar, which is, I think, one of my favorites because it shows such a harsh contrast to this concrete that is that courtyard, and the school building is all concrete as well. And so this is like turned into a little oasis in the middle of this courtyard. Again, fourth graders came, we planted, and the next slide shows what it looks like today. Look how big this is in 18 months. This has been a remarkable test for us to see how this works. And again, these are the only ones in the state of Connecticut. So people are coming from other cities like Norwalk and Stamford to Bridgeport to see how fast these are growing. And this is only a small one. This is probably maybe 200 square feet. So, but it is beautiful and it is filled with birds and berries and, a real coastal palette of trees. And the next one, I think, is that the last one? That's the last one. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to share the before and afters with you. This coming Friday, we're having a ribbon cutting at Seaside Park. We've planted the biggest Milwaukee in the entire Northeast here in Bridgeport at Seaside Park. It's 12,000 square feet. These Miwakees have gotten a lot of attention from local forestry schools and the Harvard School of Design and the U.S. Forest Service. So all of these are being marked and monitored and evaluated from here for decades to monitor the growth, because these are the first ones that have been planted in this area. So I'm very thankful to the city of Bridgeport and the Bridgeport school districts for letting us plant these first ones here in Bridgeport. And we hope to plant more at more of the schools, and we can do that through grants. So I'm grateful to the city for partnering with us on grants going forward. So we want to increase the tree canopy in Bridgeport so that it's just surpasses all the other cities in the state. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is amazing. Thank you.
Madam Chair. I want to personally thank you. I've had an opportunity to engage with the students in this process and what they're learning and how they're, I'm a green thumb myself. I love being out in the dirt and working and just to see the kids really kind of engage with that. I mean, it's a lifelong opportunity for them to kind of pass along to their children and their children's children. And so I appreciate the partnership. Ron has always, got me involved with it. So I thank you for connecting that. So anything we can do to add value, George is very, very instrumental in making sure that, a lot of donations that you give for other, not only playgrounds, but, making sure that our kids can get their hands dirty and they love it. And so George, you want to add to that?
So I just want to thank Aspetuck personally on behalf of the district. We've done plantings at Park City Magnet, Blackham, and at Dunbar School. Been transformative. Dr. Avery's been out there getting his hands dirty, several board members. So thank you. We're always looking for partnerships, and these are the kind of things we love to do here in Bridgeport.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Just a quick footnote, we did have to transplant the Winthrop.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
They can hear you online.
As a quick footnote, we did have to transplant the Winthrop forest because of the new construction. But we did get a promise of a donation from a local attorney whose mother worked at Winthrop 25 years ago. And he promised he's going to replant the Miyawaki. Joel Green, he's the new chairman of the Aspetuck Land Trust. He's going to give us a new Miyawaki as soon as the building is built, so.
Thank you. We're gonna have an update on the RFP process for substitutes. Dr. Ciano?
Hi, good evening. We just wanted to take a minute to update you on where we are with the RFPs for substitute services. So we're interviewing 4 bidders tomorrow that submitted RFPs. And then at one of your special meetings upcoming, we'll present the RFPs to you and our recommendations. They gave us the cost structures. What we're trying to do is achieve cost savings for our substitute services. So we're looking at possibly having multiple vendors in our schools providing sub-services. So after the interview phase tomorrow, we'll present to the board at one of your upcoming meetings, and you can see the 4 proposals, ask us questions, and we can give you a sense of where the district will recommend going for substitute services for a 3-year contract, 4-year contract. Yeah.
A 3 with option of 1 or 2 year extension. Getting it to the.
Yeah.
I think we asked that question at committee, if they could do 5, and I think the answer was.
The statute, I believe, changed to 5 for most contracts. But follow up on that, because it might be, might be a cost differential if we could negotiate for 5.
Alrighty, any other questions? That's it, Dr. Ciano, thank you. Approval for the partnership for school leadership proposal, and then we're gonna go back to 9B, guys, so after this one.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present a partnership with Partners for Educational Leadership as part of Dr. Avery's vision for our district. He's looking at developing a leadership development framework, which would focus on strengthening principal leadership and drive instructional improvement across all of our public schools. This proposal is based on 4 different components. The total cost is $171,875. We also concurrently with this presentation, we also have a grant. It's a federal grant that we applied specifically for principal training, and we've applied for it, which case the grant would pick up 50% of this. So the cost to the district would be $85,932. The first component of the proposal is a 2-day leadership retreat. When our principals return in August, we would kick off the year on August 10th and 11th with the partnership, working with all of us on building a shared vocabulary, setting direction, talking about agency. The second component is a district-wide principal leadership strands where 8 times over the course of the year, we would have 8 meetings on our cohort days that are district days, district working days with our leadership, where we would focus on high leverage strategies that the principals are working on implementing. We're also looking at developing a principal innovators cohort so that we would be looking for volunteers to apply to be part of the initial cohort, to work closely with and they'd have their own separate sessions with the partnership, with the potential to add on a monthly 2-hour coaching session, one-on-one with them at their school. Again, the total cost for this is $171,875, with the opportunity to split it with the federal grant for an $85,932. Does anyone have any questions?
Ms. Hughes, is this a part of this year's budget or next year's budget?
Next year. I knew this was the last meeting and I wanted to be sure to get it to you
So it has
before.
to be, are you saying it has to be approved by, it's next year, so we don't.
For
have
next
to-
year.
Not in this current. fiscal year.
It's not in this fiscal year, correct?
Uh, Mr. Traber?
Second.
Okay. Is there a timeline that you need this approved by?
We wanted to engage them for August 10th and 11th, which is our return to school for next year.
So if we have, give me a second. There's no urgency to have it done tonight, but before
Yes.
11th, you want to try to work
We-
the board for that? Okay. Mr. Traber, put your mic on and you can speak. Yeah.
Sorry, Madam
Mhm.
Chair.
Yeah.
One, it's just out of nowhere. It's just a new proposal that we haven't had a chance to properly, work through. And I have some serious questions about this organization that I need to, look at. It has, in looking at it quickly, it has a deep sort of charter school connections that concern me. And so I'd like to know why we picked them, why we went through them. That always concerns me. The people involved have that background. So I don't want to discuss it tonight. I'd like us to table it so that we have a chance to talk it through, work it through, look at it. What's the deadline for the charter school, for the federal grant? When do we find out about the federal grant?
For Hannah? Rebecca, yeah, yeah.
You turned it off.
Sorry, guys. I'm Hannah Whitley, Deputy Grants Director for the district. So the grant was submitted today with an expected federal review within the next 3 months. If the district receives the award, it will be around this time next year. And so there is a 12-month application review.
So we don't find out till a year from now.
Correct.
So right now, this is $171,000 item.
Which we would look to include in our Alliance grant.
Yes. Okay. So I think we need to spend a little more time thinking this over.
Madam Chair, I just
Yeah.
want to address the timeliness of this. We didn't get the final quote until May 28th, which was after our ISS meeting last week.
Okay, thank you. There's been a motion to table the item. Seeing no further debate. Do you have further debate? Okay, all right. So seeing no further debate on it, we could take a vote on it. Okay, so there's a roll call. Ready?
Yep. Mr. Benahan Grajales,
Yes.
the motion is to table,
Table.
just to be
Yeah.
clear. Okay. Mr. Woodson,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Sakalovic,
Yes.
Ms. Burks Jennings,
Yes.
Mr. Daniels,
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Traber,
Yes.
Mr. Medina.
Yes.
Okay, motion to table carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. We're going back to 9B, approval of the FCC USAC E-rate 471, category 1 and 2 for vendors. Ms. Esther Jimenez, can you read it out loud?
Yep. Motion,
Wait, Mr., do you have something? Are you doing? Oh, okay. Oh, you want to come up and speak to it or? Okay, we'll do the motion.
okay, motion to, I'm just gonna read it out. Be it resolved that the governing board for Bridgeport School District 1 authorizes the filing of FCC Form 471, Schools and Libraries Universal Service Program, services ordered for fiscal year July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. 2, authorizes payment of the applicant's share subject to the following conditions. 1, approval of funding of the discounted portion by the Schools and Library Division of the Universal Service Administrative Company, and two, recipe of service receipt of services during the fiscal year July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027.
All right, there's been a motion and a second, and John, do you want us to email that to you? I don't know if he wants that written down. We could get that to you. Any debate on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any
Lamont,
abstentions?
aye.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mr. Traber. All right, is there another one, or is that it? Was that it? Yeah, that's it?
That's
Just the
it.
one? Okay. All right, so, seeing no other business, we'll take a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Traber and seconded by Mr. Sakalovic? Yeah, you stepped out. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
8:23 is
Aye.
adjourning.
Aye. Thank you. Have a good night.
6 and 4.